Hey guys, it's Dan Gorfinkel with eXp Realty. Been in the business for almost 20 years and have helped countless people buy and sell homes. And I'm working on helping countless agents as far as coaching, mentoring, training. Here to help you guys, bringing you my best stuff week in and week out. And I'd like to ask first and foremost that take a minute, hit the subscribe button, like this video, make sure you're a subscriber. I'm not gonna be that guy who goes ahead and buys likes and subscribers, so I'm doing this purely organically, just like I did my real estate business. And this week I wanted to talk about territory expansion. I think we all know that in a perfect world, you'd work out of your own backyard and you'd just be able to sell homes right in your own neighborhood, keep it easy, but we all know it's not that way. I think a lot of times established agents have pigeonholed themselves into certain areas and have been very laser focused, and to their obviously to their credit, they've succeeded. Some have and some haven't, but I would say over the span of all these years in this business, I've always managed to break the bounds of where I've typically gone and sell anywhere and everywhere in the greater Boston area. And it's without doing that, income-wise and client-wise, things would be very much a fraction of what they've been over the years. So you need to make sure that you're able to advise people in many different areas. If there's a certain part of town or a certain town that you're not invested in from a standpoint of knowledge, make sure you get there, make sure you do the research. I think the best thing to do initially is, I know I've said this in many other instances, delve into the numbers, make sure you know what the average prices are, the median prices are, the list to sale price ratios. Once you become an educated person as far as the numbers are concerned, the rest is easy. I'm sure you can go ahead and talk to different agents in different towns and get up to speed rather quickly. There's so much on the internet. I'm not saying you have to take what's on there, but obviously from an on the ground and on the street level knowledge, make sure that you are able to talk to the right people who know the market in any given town. And that way, if you have somebody, I'll give you a specific instance, and obviously stick around and watch as much of this video as you can. But this instance I want to talk about right now is about a client a new client who was coming from the West Coast, and they're looking at many different towns, and they're like, what about this town? What about that town? And if I were somebody who was specific to a given area, I wouldn't be able to help them. I wouldn't have the confidence to be able to say or comment on something specifically as they're kind of traversing town lines. The one thing you want to do when you're working with somebody is try to keep them relegated on a given day to a given town, because when you start crossing town lines and you're starting to talk about different values from town to town, it gets confusing. You almost kind of like piecemeal a house together. You have this perfect house in your mind and you're trying to explain like, geez, after seeing it, it had this feature and that feature and then it had that aspect of the town, and really they're referring to a different town, so it gets very confusing. So I'm definitely a big proponent of keeping people relegated in their minds to a specific town on a specific day. But when it comes to kind of expanding your territory and expanding your horizons, there's so much value to doing that, and it's so doable. It's a very old school mentality to think you can only serve and function in one or two different towns, when the reality is, especially with the changing landscape in how our compensation is going to be in the coming years, you want to make sure that you can list in any given town and you can sell in any town and provide that value to any specific client or anybody you've crossed paths with either in the past or coming forward into the future, that you're able to kind of talk it through with them in a manner that shows intelligence, wherewithal, and everything else of the like that you're able to kind of put forth to them. So all of that stuff kind of rolled into one is going to be an important thing for you as a real estate professional to talk things through. One thing that I do when somebody is interested in a town I haven't served in the past is I'm going to go ahead and research that town, pull school data, pull the information. Again, the financial information is first and foremost, but also pull little nuances of the town that you think that they may like. So I think ultimately, if your focus is on your client and you know your client very well and how they may kind of feel about a given town, if there's someone who puts a high emphasis on school system, or if they put a high emphasis on having accessibility to the city, Maybe they need to get into Boston, so you need to research what the commuter rail schedule is. All these things that in theory are stuff that they can research on their own and come up with, but as you're an agent trying to provide value for them, you want to make sure you're the one who has that top of mind, that knowledge and everything else. And on top of that, you want to make sure you're somebody who has very close connections within the realtor community. We always say that we're going to bat for our clients, but ultimately you have to have those relationships built up. You don't want to be some random real estate agent who no one has a clue of who you are. Then you're not going to be able to go to bat for your client in a way that's going to be compelling and in a manner that you're going to get them the best deal possible. Like I've always said, you want to warm up to the other side, not get too close, but ultimately make sure that they put a high level of respect on you and in turn your clients. And if you do that, you're always going to do very well for your people. You're always going to be able to maximize the value they get from you. You're going to be able to push down on price, get them the best terms and conditions possible, and it's not going to matter what town they're focusing in. It really doesn't have any bearing on you as an agent in terms of what specific town they are in. You just want to be very versatile and you don't want to pigeonhole yourself. I think we're all facing a situation now in the market where things are a lot less steady than they've been over the past decade, and we all need to kind of hunker down and do our best for our clients as always, but also expand your knowledge base, expand your confidence level, and not just relegate yourself to one area. I mean, if it's a matter of driving 30 or 40 minutes versus 10 or 15, at the end of the day, what's the difference? Don't worry about that. Focus on the big picture, focus on making sales, making people happy and giving them, helping them achieve their goals and their dreams and getting the right house possible. So once again, Dan Gorfinkel with eXp Realty. Hit that like button, make sure you subscribe to this channel, leave me a message on here, send me a text, 617-820-8085, or an email. I'm not a hard guy to reach. I'm somebody who's very interested in helping you out and helping you further your career. I've got a lot to give and I've been doing this for a long, long time. So by all means, don't be a stranger. Reach out to me anytime and I'm here to support you. Thanks again. Talk to you soon.